Thanks for clicking. Canada's housing market could drop by up to 30%, and homeowners could lose $1.7 trillion in value. This according to Alex Hadiditaj, founder of Radius Financial, in a newly released opinion piece. The piece, posted on Radius Financial's website and picked up by some of the major news outlets, is entitled, How the Canadian Government Can Stop a Real Estate Crash.
You come to see me?
The piece comes amid an increasing number of reports predicting continual price declines in Canada's real estate market, showing billions of dollars in lost equity, with some suggesting major changes to Canada's stress test. But the solution to preventing a real estate crash, says Hadiditaj, is allow 40-year amortizations for existing homeowners. As we've discussed on this channel over the past few weeks, as housing prices continue to fall, we should expect to see more and more calls for reforms to mortgage qualification standards, and it's important that we understand what those calls entail and what are the implications. So what I want to do today is go over the report, take a look at some of its problems and what renewing on a 40-year amortization would look like for existing homeowners, and then discuss what to look for next. Speaking of next, Canada's inflation rate is set to be released in the next couple of days, which will obviously have a big impact on the pace of our interest rate hikes and Canada's real estate market going forward. We'll obviously have an update out on that inflation rate on this channel. Click like and subscribe if you want to get those updates, but for now, let's get into this report. The piece from Radius Financial starts by looking at how dire the problem of declining real estate values have become, with the piece stating that public anxieties over the real estate market, fueled by misinformed economist pundits, will become a self-fulfilling prophecy if the government does not act with urgency and immediacy. The piece states that 78% of Canadians have a current mortgage rate below 3%, and that the average Canadian will pay between $800 to $1,100 extra in monthly payments on an $800,000 mortgage. There's some problems with this, but we'll get to that. With mortgage rates going up, Radius Financial says that Canadians will feel the pinch of these additional mortgage payments, and as such will have to list their properties on the market for a price far below than that which is owed on them.
I can help.
And as such, as the market is flooded with new properties, we will see a real estate crash in Canada. The only solution to this real estate crash, says the report, is to allow existing homeowners to renew into 40-year amortizations, which should put less pressure on household budgets as the mortgage payments will be much lower. So in summary, as Canadians go to renew, they'll be renewing with much higher rates than they've been accustomed to over the past few years. As such, their payments will rise substantially, forcing them to flood the market by selling their properties, which will crash Canada's real estate market.
That doesn't sound so good for your whole thing, does it?
But is this the case? As mentioned, right away, there is some problems with the logic presented at the beginning of this article. While 78% of Canadians may indeed have a rate below 3%, it does not necessarily follow that the average Canadian has an $800,000 mortgage. In fact, CMHC shows that this isn't the case at all. Even in the first quarter of 2022, when Canada's real estate market hit its peak valuation, the average loan from CMHC was only $371,000, not $800K. A recent report from Equifax showed that the average home loan still remains around $370K, or about $430K for first-time homebuyers. However, the report is looking at current renewals, so let's take a look at them and see what they'll look like given current interest rates. Those having to renew their mortgages right now, on average, probably bought in the last quarter of 2017, at a time when the average mortgage amount in Canada was $280,000. Using the Wayback Machine, we can see that a decent 5-year fixed rate in 2017 was 3.14. So a $280,000 mortgage on a 5-year fixed rate at 3.14 at a 25-year amortization shows a monthly payment of $1,348, with $240,000 due coming this quarter. If you renew at today's rates at 4.44 on that 20-year amortization, your payment will bump to $1,511. So at first glance, Radius Financial is right. When we renew at a 20-year amortization using today's rate, we get a payment bump of $170. $170 more than you were paying for the past 5 years. However, let's see what happens if we extend the amortization using existing rules. Under existing rules, you can extend that amortization to 30 years. It's not a great thing to do, as you do pay a larger portion of your mortgage payment towards interest, but it's definitely possible and it's within existing rules. So if we take that same mortgage amount, that same $248,000, we extend the amortization to a 30-year mortgage, and we use 5.24, which is an uninsurable mortgage. 30-year mortgages are always uninsurable. We get a payment of $1,324, just under $25 less than they've been paying for the past 5 years. Definitely not ideal moving up to a 30-year amortization, but very few people are going to lose their homes over $23 per month. So at this point, it's not quite clear what moving up to a 40-year amortization will do. But let's take a look. If we take that same $204,000, we use that 5.24 interest rate, but we bump up to a 40-year amortization, we see that payment goes down to $1,196, or $150 less than those same homeowners have been paying for the past 5 years. This would give those same homeowners an extra $100 per month to push back into the economy, at a time when the Bank of Canada is trying to get money out of the economy.
You stupid, huh?
So, at least as of right now, the existing rules allowing 30-year amortizations will prevent homeowners, at least those homeowners that purchased 5 years ago, from seeing a major spike in their payments. The argument that we need a 40-year mortgage to prevent that from happening just does not hold water when we look at the math. Granted, rising values and rising rates are probably going to be a problem, and all things being equal are probably going to be a big one. But that's not going to come for another couple of years. Our home prices didn't start really going through the roof until 2020, and those 5-year fixeds are not coming due for another 2.5 to 3 years. So the argument that is presented in this piece from Radius Financial, that the government needs to act immediately and with urgency, doesn't really add up. There are definitely some major problems on the horizon for holders of variable rate mortgages, especially those that bought in the past 6, 8, 12 months, but not so much for fixed rate holders, especially not those that bought 5 years ago. So as we mentioned in previous videos with the local real estate boards and the national real estate boards calling for changes to the stress test to get more money into the economy, to get more money into the real estate market, as the Bank of Canada pulls money out of the market, pulls money out of the economy, we are going to see continual calls from industry experts, from insiders, from various groups wanting to see that money put back into the economy as prices continue to drop, as the value of Canada's real estate market continues to go down. But I think it's extremely important to look at these arguments to see A, if they even make sense, if the math works, and B, look at the implications of these policy changes, in this case, actually going against what the Bank of Canada is trying to do. With all of that said, as these arguments come out, we will continue to have updates out on them on this channel and their implications for Canada's real estate market. If you want to get those updates, make sure you click, like, and subscribe. But for now, thanks so much for watching.